What's up? You're watching Poot's Garage. This week, I hadn't even thought about this intro yet. We're doing stuff. Yep. So towards the end of last weekend, I started spending way too much money. I just kind of went on a rip and just started buying stuff that I just kind of need or want. So we got a lot of stuff coming in the mail right now, and I can kind of show you a couple of things we got going on. So I guess the first thing is a little quality increase in the video is I bought a new phone. I mean, that's not really that exciting, I guess, but I ended up buying the new iPhone 17. If you'll notice on the next video that should be out next week, no, that'll be the weekend before this. You'll notice the video before this, I did a four-wheeling video. I actually have a bunch of clips on my phone from when we go out wheeling and stuff like that, and I haven't gotten around to posting any of it on here just because I wasn't really sure how to get it off of a phone onto my computer and to be able to edit and stuff like that. So I finally broke that down and figured it out. And so you'll notice some of the clips are kind of not very great, but we're throwing them in there anyways just because the content's cool. But I did end up buying a new phone this week as well, so I finally upgraded my old iPhone XR to the iPhone 17, not the Pro or anything fancy, just the base model 17. And the difference between those two phones is absolutely insane. So hopefully my video on phone stuff will be a little better. But it is a mixture on that video of, my phone, which is kind of crappy, and then other people's phones that are doing stuff. I get the clips from them and stuff every time we go out. So, there's a mix of good and bad clips on there, but so that stuff will be a little bit better now. And that's this guy here. It's, it's a iPhone. It's nothing crazy. I don't even have a case for it yet. That should be coming in the mail today, so I'm like super scared of handling it and try not to break it and stuff, but that's not very exciting. Don't remember if I made an update last weekend or not, but I went through and I cleaned as much stuff as I could, and then I bagged it up so I don't have to re-clean it when I'm ready to install it. But I mean, we scrubbed down the caps on for the center carrier and for the front and rear, all the adjusters, even the yoke I cleaned up, and my cross pins. These are the differentials here. These are the new ones we're going to be using. So I just went through and just cleaned everything so it's ready to go. I think I'm going to try and start installing some stuff today. Yeah, you can see there's our pinion gear. The bearings are all cleaned up and inspected. There's only one bad bearing and we're not using it because that's on the old diff. So far we're looking pretty good. It is going to be a little wonky though because I am going to be mix matching some races onto different bearings and stuff like that, but it's not that big a deal. It's not a highway vehicle and I really don't care. We're just going to set it up correctly and have known good parts in it. We don't need an upgrade on the rear cover. This thing is taking a beating, but this thick aluminum cover is working really good, so it just needs to be cleaned up still, obviously. And then the front cover, this is just a factory Dana 30 cover. The Dana covers are pretty thick, but I'm gonna beef this up. I might add some metal to it or build a little cage. I don't know. We're gonna do something to kind of make this just a hair stronger, just because I am hitting it on some rocks, you can see. Now for new parts, I got new pinion seals. Those came in. I gotta verify those are correct still. I gotta take them out there and match them up just to make sure before I rip it apart. And then it's kind of a random thing. I was sitting there thinking, like, what do I need? Like tools and stuff. And it's in the package, you can't really see it. This is a shallow, thin wall, 12-point impact socket. And it's a half drive. I need this for the front hubs on the Cherokees. I always use a thin wall. You gotta use a 12-point. I always use a chrome socket on those with a big impact, and I'm always so scared that chrome socket's gonna blow apart on me, which it never has, but it's always worrying me because those bolts are usually in there. So we bought this little impact socket, and we're actually gonna throw this in the Jeep and keep it in there, just so if I need to do trail repairs, I can safely get those hubs off and replace axle shafts and stuff like that. So that's just kind of a little random thing. And then a little extra, one of those, like, what do I need? I need a drill doctor. I use a ton of drill bits and they're all going bad, they're all getting dull, and so we finally bought the 500X, which is kind of their mid one. 350X, I don't remember what it doesn't do that this does, but I know the 750, which is their big one, that just does bigger drill bits. It goes over 1/2-inch bits, which I don't need to go that big. I don't even own that many big drill bits, but this is it. It's the drill doctor. You basically chuck up the drill bit in here, use it as the little gauge setup there, and then you shove it down in there and rotate it around, and it cuts it. It's got like a little, I don't know, probably a diamond cutter, like a drum style. I don't know what you call that. A drum deal that sharpens the bits, and we're gonna go through there. As you can see, I've been starting to keep a a dull drill bits box, so I can start sharpening those up. I do have a lot of nice drill bits, and half of these I'm not even sure what's sharp or dull anymore, so as I use things now, I can really start either sharpen them on the spot or just toss them to the side and start sharpening. I got this Matco kit that I keep the bigger stuff in here, and like a lot of them, this old one here, this is actually, I think it's a Craftsman bit. This one's probably really dull. You know, a lot of these, this one looks like I've tried to sharpen it before. It's probably trashed, you know. This big guy here looks pretty fresh, but yeah, we can just start going through a lot of this. I've smoked so many of these bits that they just don't work very good anymore, so it'll be nice to get some sharp bits again. And then the really big purchase this week was, I've actually put a down payment on a new trailer. I'm buying a new car hauler trailer. We're gonna go pick that up tomorrow, so it should be on this video. But yeah, my old one, I mean, I don't really show it on video much, if at all, but it's in pretty rough shape, and I need something a little bit bigger, and I mean, I'm getting a little longer too, so. But the main reason I'm doing that is because of this truck. This is a big truck. This thing probably weighs 5,500, probably going on 6,000 pounds, especially after I do all the tube work and stuff to it. It's gonna add a lot of weight to it. So this is a heavy truck, and my current trailer is a 7,000 pound car hauler, and I think the max load on those is actually 77, but then you take off the weight of the trailer itself, and I think you're left with, I think they say about 6,300 pounds that I can haul on that trailer. So that trailer alone is maxed out with this truck pretty much. So, and then if I'm loaded up doing stuff, then it's definitely going to be overloaded. So I just want to get something that's it's a little safer and a little further away from being maxed out all the time. Now my goal, because I'm buying a trailer and I'm talking about this truck, and I don't know if I've probably talked about this before. My goal with this truck has always been to build it, get it set up, and start traveling with it. But I'm gonna tow it places. Go to places like Utah and the Rubicon and actually use this as like the nicer, you know, trail type rig, not the one that I'm gonna completely destroy, kind of like I'm doing with the Cherokee. That's just the local beater. I'm just having fun with that. This one here, I'm gonna try and keep a little bit nicer. Is it gonna get damaged? Absolutely. Am I gonna care? Not that much, but I'm gonna try to keep this one in better shape, and this will kind of have the nicer stuff on it and a little more set up for long-term type stuff, wheeling overnights and or long trips and just different things like that. But this is kind of the one that I would want like you guys to see if you ever happen to see me out in any of these places. I'd want you to see me in this, not the beat-ass Cherokee. So we are still moving forward. I mean, we got the tube on the wall. We're gonna start bending up tube for this thing soon. I just got to get this Cherokee back together and get all these gears back in, and then probably start tearing this truck down again, start working on it. Oh yeah, back to the trailer. So this is my old trailer. This is a 16-foot 7,000 pound trailer, and you can see it's pretty tired. So the wood is barely hanging on there. That definitely needs to be replaced if I were to use it for heavier stuff. It still works for the lighter stuff, but even then it needs to be replaced regardless. But you can see things like the fenders are getting pretty rough. This one's actually in decent shape, but you know, you can see we're cracking there. I think the other side, yeah, you can see the other side's in really bad shape. You can see where it's bent and sagged down, and I've had to pull those up and out of the way before. This one really lacks tie down locations. It's really hard to kind of tie down to these square things, so it's missing those. My ramps are bent, so they don't fit underneath. The wiring is in really bad shape. I think the brake stopped working again because I got some wires hanging down underneath, so I think the brake wiring came off again. But yeah, you can see, just in general, this trailer's pretty wore out. So I'm going to sell it to one of the locals here. I'm going to sell it to Cody, give him a good deal on it, since he's the one that seems to ask me to borrow it the most anyway, so we'll sell it to him instead. But the good things are, the trailer itself is solid. Like the frame, the metal, everything is really solid, besides maybe fenders. It's got brand new wheels and tires on, well, they're like 3.5 years old now, but I put new wheels and tires on it, and I had the brakes working back then too, so they just need the wiring cleaned up. But other than that, I mean, it's more cosmetic, and it's just kind of a lighter duty trailer. So, but you'll have to see later in this video on the new trailer, because I don't have it yet. I have to go pick it up tomorrow. Next update is we got our amplifier back in the mail. It came back to us, so I sent this back out to CT Sounds because one of the metal rings for the RCA input came apart. So that needed to get repaired. and hopefully this thing starts working again. So huge shout out to CT Sounds for helping me out on that. That was a big deal, so I really appreciate that. We need to get this thing back in, and they actually made a video of testing it for me, so we'll put that in here right now.
Alright, here I have your CT 1500. We got this unit sent in for repaired RCA, serial number ending in 35. I have it hooked up to a Meso 12 D2 wired at 1 ohm. I'm going to cycle the unit off and on. You get protect and power. One more time, off and on. You get protect and power. So we have the bass not maxed out right now. You get that variable control. I'm going to slowly turn it down all the way down to no bass. And then I'm going to crank it back up again. Get that variable control. That's going to be your CT 1500.
So I'm not sure when. I assume sometime this weekend I'll try and get it reinstalled back there. Get that thing all back together and start driving this thing again. I can't drive it without beat, you know. Next box showed up. Almost forgot about these. We got a big tall box from Iron Rock Off-Road. Let's see what's in here. So when I was underneath the Jeep taking stuff apart, I noticed the steering gearbox starting to show a couple little cracks on the frame. Nothing too crazy. Hold on, I think another truck pulled up. Check it out, more boxes. We get to unbox these too. I don't remember what's in here. I don't know what one is. I don't know what that second one is. Alright, back to this one. So I was saying that I noticed my the metal around the gearbox was starting to crack, so I figured it's a good time to go do the front stiffeners for the chassis. You remember when I did the cage for the roll cage, I installed the mid stiffeners. I welded those in to give it more of a frame. I knew I was gonna have to do the front eventually because it just needs it. These Cherokees you gotta add a lot of metal to make them last, and that's our plan, is to make this thing, give it a good foundation so that I can smash up the body and the fenders and the doors as much as I want. As long as the main chassis is still one piece and solid and straight, then we'll be alright. So, I'm gonna get these out. Willow's gonna love those. I'm gonna get this out. Just dump it. Another Iron Rock off-road sticker. We love those. So this is the front section. The front, I guess it'll go more like this. The front there, it wraps around underneath. This would be like your control arm area back here. Front axle's right here. This would actually be the one for the steering box. So the steering box will actually mount over this. Well, not over this, it's on the back side, but the bolts go over, so it strengthens up the whole area of the steering box. Man, I'm out of breath. Another thing that I needed too is this strengthens up where my bumper mounts. Right here, that's what these 3 bolts are. And my bumper is really crappy, so we need to beef that up a little bit. And smaller than I thought they'd be, but they come with 2 of these little, these are just fish plates, and so where the new one butts up to the old one that I already have on there, you weld this over the top of it, kind of ties it in a little better. So there's that package, pretty exciting. Next box, you can see it's not that exciting. It's clearly just a case of brake clean. It's a little cheaper if you buy this stuff online, like Amazon. Just buy a big pack, like a 12 box or something. End up paying a little bit for it, but individually it's a lot cheaper than buying from the store, you know. These are 13-ounce cans. I get 12 of them at a time. I think I still have 4 of them or something in the shelf, but I just want to make sure I have enough to finish these axles. This, I don't know what this is. Indiana. I don't remember what I ordered. Let's see. It's kind of heavy. Oh, I know. Ball joints for the XJ. I bought a little bit better ball joint. I bought spicers. Just couldn't do the cheap stuff, so I ended up paying a little extra for some quality. Hopefully they are actually spicer. You know, you never know when you're getting counterfeit parts now, so hopefully they're real. Comes with all the bits and pieces, so hopefully we're good. Got all four. Do both sides. Get everything going. Just make sure they all look the same at least. That's a good sign that that they're the real deal, is if they at least all look identical, not mismatched and stuff. So no, whatever, we'll figure it out. Tighten up that front end a little, try to get rid of the death wobble. It's the next day and we are on the road. I mean, it's not a long drive or anything, but we were running out to Carson City. I got notification that the trailer is here and ready to go, so we're gonna run out there. It's about an hour drive and go grab this thing. We're cruising in the Ram. I don't get to drive this thing as much as I used to. This used to be my daily driver. Jeez, I put 110,000 miles on this thing, so it's nice to get in here and cruise once in a while. This truck drive's nice. So let's go. Tell it's heavier than my old one, just empty, but obviously because it's a bigger trailer. This thing I think weighs about 2,000 pounds empty, where my old one was like 1,000, 1,200, something like that. So it's cool. Can't really show you much right now. You can see it back there. She's towing. We'll get home and then I'll show you. I do want to say that the owner of that place, I didn't catch his last name. I think it was Kevin something. Really good guy, really cool guy. I definitely recommend, if you need a trailer, to go to D1 Trailer, I don't know what it is, rental and sales in Carson City, Nevada, because that was an awesome deal. That was a really good situation. So, fun fact, I guess they call it D1 because there's 11 people in his family that have gone D1 in sports. If you know anything about college football and different things like that, and so. That guy there, he was actually in I think the 87 Rose Bowl, and he had some pictures up on the wall, and he did a commercial, and I don't know, all sorts of stuff, so pretty cool deal. So yeah, definitely recommend them. Here we are. Look at this thing. This thing is a bad unit. Give you a little rundown here. So what this is a Southland 18-foot 11K trailer. My old one is a 16-foot 7K. And so this thing's a lot beefier, a little heavier, and it's just all around better. It has so many cool little features that my old one doesn't have that it's gonna make things a lot easier. You can see we got the adjustable coupler, so we can adjust that. Not have to worry about drop hitches so much if I happen to not have the right hitch. It's got the breakaway brakes already on it. My old one, I have that stuff, I just never put it on. Lots of little things like this little rubber holder for your electrical. Shove it in there so it's not hanging on the ground. It's got a little hook here to hang your chains on. It's got a really nice top wind jack a lot heavier duty than the old one. It's actually got a tray in here, which is really nice for storage. I'll probably end up finding a toolbox or something that's going to fit in there. Plus, I want to put a winch up here someday, so we'll get this all fitted out. It's got a really nice bar across the front to tie off to. It's got little chain hooks here. It actually has a rub rail along with all the stake pockets, lots of stake pockets. The ramps slide in the side, which is really nice because my old ramps are always bent and never fit. We got fenders that unbolt, so we can do something with those because the Chevy's just a little too wide. It would have to drive over, or I might make these hinge and, you know, flop out of the way and then just drive over the trailer tires and not have to drive over the fenders at all, which would be kind of cool. It's got little stabilizers for the back so that when you're driving something heavy on, it doesn't bring the back down and raise your truck up. So that'll be kind of cool if I need that. It's got a nice rail across the back. It's got really good LED lighting. It's got these little tiny circular LED lights. Look how small they are, but they are super bright, so the size doesn't matter. And then it's got the bigger brake and tail lights up underneath there, protected by that rub rail. Well, this also is where the ramps hook onto. With those little tiny LEDs, it has a ton of reflective tape across the side, so you don't have to worry about the lights not being reflectors. License plate mounts under there. It's got a little license plate light. Heavier duty tires. These are like a load range D, I believe. I haven't really looked that close, but they should be. They better be. 6 lug wheels, so it has the heavier axles, 5,200 pound axles instead of the 3,500 pound axles like the old lighter trailer. And yeah, this side's pretty much the same. It's got a lot of neat little things like the fender mounts are nice 2x4 steel welded to the frame, so I can build off those if I want to make something drive over or whatever. And it's got nice aluminum caps on the ends and stuff like that, so tons of neat little features. Obviously we got a spare tire. I don't know if I like the location of the spare tire, why it's not mounted on the side of the tongue there, I'm not sure. Put it up there, so we'll have to play with that maybe and see. I do need to verify this tire is a load range D as well. Make sure it matches. Oh yeah, it's a load range E. That's really good. So this tire is definitely good. Let me double check the actual regular tires here real quick. These are, okay, so yeah, these are load range D, which is what the trailer needs, which is plenty for the trailer. But to have a E spare tire, that's kind of neat. Should almost buy a bunch more of those, and no, we're not upgrading those. The deck obviously says right there, it's a heavy duty fir deck. It's a nice hardwood. I'd say it's probably not sealed, so I'll have to seal the deck just to try and make it last longer. Might just do the engine oil thing, just coat it in old used engine oil. We'll see what I do with that. The main construction is way heavier duty than my old trailer. This is actually 2x6 steel rectangular, tubing, where my old one is literally just angle iron. I think the tongue of that thing was a C channel, but then like the regular, all the side rails, it's all just L, like real thick, but just L rail. This is 2x6 everywhere, and I actually haven't gotten under here to look yet. It's pretty nice. It's got I-beam cross members, which is way more than what the old one has, so that's pretty cool. You can see how long our ramps are. I bet those ramps are way longer than my old one, so that'll be nice. Kind of just your standard leaf spring suspension and everything else underneath there, but yeah, this is a pretty heavy little unit. I like it. This is gonna serve me well. So now, when we ever get around to towing this truck anywhere, I measured it out. 18 feet is pretty much bumper to bumper, so the entire truck will be on the trailer, at least. I won't be hanging off the back like the old one did a little bit. And I don't know, it's just gonna be so much better. The capacity is not gonna be maxed out, so that new one has a payload of 9,300 pounds. Right, it's an 11K trailer minus the weight of the trailer, which is 2,000 pounds, plus your tongue weight you can add back on. And so we're like 9,300 pounds payload, which is pretty nice. This truck's probably gonna weigh 6,000 pounds, maybe 6,500 when it's fully kitted out. So we now have some wiggle room. We're not gonna be maxing out our trailer immediately. The payload on my old trailer is, I think they say 6,300, 6,100, something like that, 6,000 pounds. Maybe a little more. So right off the bat, this truck's gonna max that trailer out. So this will be much better.